Good afternoon and welcome. My name is Salita Coleman, and I am your host, all things host training specialist here at vacation.com and Distinctive Voyages. The date is October 20th, 2016, and it's 3 o'clock. I want to welcome all of you that have joined us early. I appreciate that a great deal.
Yes.
Right out the gate. There we go. It's good to be back. There are a number of new hosts joining us this year, so I am going to explain the format of these calls. And in between each topic of discussion that I introduce, I'm going to just ask, are there any questions about the things that I've just shared? And you are encouraged to ask questions of myself, of the other people on the call. There are hosts that have sailed more than 20 distinctive voyages probably at this point, and there are some that have, a half a dozen, but they've done so on different suppliers. It may be something you've never sailed on before, and you may just have questions, and we encourage each of you to share with each other, and I'm here to support you where I can. This open mic call, the format is just that. It's open. We try to have this call monthly between the months of October and May, and it's usually the third Thursday of the month. The time can change during the fall and winter months, but it's generally at 3 o'clock Eastern Time. And after the call, once I have been able to just edit the video for any issues or dead spots, I'll post that and share it with everyone in the group. So I just want to say welcome to our new hosts in the program. There are about 25 or 30 new hosts this year, and I heard a number of their names come on to the call. So we appreciate you joining us. Want to start the call off by just speaking to briefly the changes that you all may have heard about late this summer about VCOM and TLG becoming one family. As it relates to Distinctive Voyages, we've only plan to make enhancements to the product. There will be no changes. Our product was unique to vacation.com, and we are doing things like adding the Oceania dates that some of you have applied for, and we're looking for other ways to just enhance our product and what we're able to do. So just continue to watch and listen for things that may change, and I'll do my best to update you as I find out about them. So just quickly, are there any questions about that or anything I've just introduced?
No, but we're glad to hear it, Salita. We were, this Kate Schreier, we were a little concerned, like, what's going to happen?
Not a thing, not a thing, just more work, more. So hopefully we will be adding more things that just make us look and feel better, right? So I'm glad I addressed that. I want to share with everyone on the call, whether you're a veteran host or new to the program, the differences between what I do when you reach out to me directly and what my colleagues and I monitor for the Voyages box that we ask you all to communicate with fairly often. So what happens is, in my role, I try to prepare you for sailings, train you for sailings, book your cabins, answer questions about you hosting the date physically and getting you prepared and receiving your information after you've sailed. Over the last year or so, we've tried to find ways to make what I'm available to you for as specific as possible so that if I'm busy, our team can answer, I book clients on a sailing, are they on a manifest yet? That's something that anyone in our department can look on a manifest and help you answer. And Madeline has been a great help answering those questions for me when they come to the Voyages box. Another thing is if you're on a ship and it's the weekend, Madeline and I look in the box throughout the weekend. If it's overnight, if it's a holiday, you sending something to Voyages when you're on a ship is pertinent because someone will see it. You've got the chance of several sets of eyes catching something you need urgently as opposed to waiting for me to come back on Monday or maybe not really checking my email on a weekend. It's hard for me to do, but every now and then I try not to do that. So I do want to just make sure that everyone is kind of clear on why we ask you to do that. Because what happens is sometimes you may think it's best to email it to Voyages and copy me, but I work in that box too. So the duplication floods mailboxes, and someone's waiting on a response from me on a certain issue, and I just can't get to it fast enough, and then I find that 15 of the emails, I got them in both places. So things like pre-cruise request forms, we ask that you send there because I can find them there in a folder that we've specifically set up for that purpose. If I call you and say, yes, please go ahead and send it to me, it's because I'm looking for it and I'm flagging it so that, I can act on it. That's just a little bit of I guess, procedural protocol that I want to try and ingratiate this year so everybody understands why it's important to make the Voyages box another go-to source for something that's not related to getting you on the boat, your expenses, getting your cabin booked. That should be where when you're sending things to me. Anybody have a question about that?
Salita, I have a quick question. This is Gail Licata,
Sure.
Fantasy Travel.
Yes,
Can you hear
sure.
me?
I can.
Okay. I just wanted to clarify that when we send our I just sent a pre-cruise request form in for sailing in June next year because we've met the number of cabins needed.
Yep.
But I sent it to the Voyages box. Should I have sent that to you? I'm a little confused.
Voyages box.
Sorry.
No, perfect.
Okay. Great, thank you.
The Voyages box is constantly moving and being cleaned out. Sometimes there's nothing there. Sometimes there's only 10 or 15 things there. It's because we've asked you guys to do something like, you've met your number, send it there. It's an easier box to find the urgent stuff like that.
Okay.
Reminders,
Salita,
there's so much traffic, I don't want you to get buried.
I hate to interrupt you, but you got a lot of noise on this line, and it sounds like you got
I
open
do
mic.
hear feedback on someone's line, and I'm not
People
sure.
is coughing away. Can they please? That's awful. It's pretty rude. Yeah. If who's ever coughing, Salita could
I couldn't
walk
hear
away.
coughing, but I do hear static.
Yeah, I can hear coughing. I can hear a lot of coughing from someone.
So let me ask again that if you're on the line and there's noise in your environment, that you press *2 now. I could unmute everyone, but it's difficult to unmute you individually, so I would prefer that you guys kind of manage that.
Whoever's coughing. Now they got music.
I'm
Now
getting an awful lot of background
They're holding
noise
music.
here.
That's awful. Whoever that is, that's rude. Okay.
All
Now
right.
it's quiet.
Oh,
So
thank
on a
you,
whole,
Salita.
yeah, on a whole, these calls have been easily managed. A good bit of the host community prefers the telephone format. And this is where I'm trying to assess which is better, the computer or having some of the actual calls. So after this call, I will certainly evaluate that again. I'm hearing music again.
Let's see, I don't hear
Wait, do I have a
anything.
question about the time zone, the timelines? This is Ken at
Sure.
Cruise Innovations.
Yes, sir.
When last year we had some problems with customers like getting the letter from Vacation.com saying that, because we were on a sailing this year where quite a few people didn't get a letter, but like if
You
a
mean
client,
like an email notification?
when the agent gets the notification that someone is actually, no, not for the host. Like as an agent, if I have a client that's like books in a Vacation.com distinct the voyage, when should I expect to get the notification that they are in fact in there? And if
They
I don't
go
get it
out
by a certain date,
25 to 30 days before the sailing.
okay? Because last year what happened was and who would I would call for that or email?
You could email the Voyages box and say, hey, here's a name and a booking number. Here's the sailing. We've yet to receive an email notice about the
Okay,
amenities.
because I didn't know that procedure, and last year I wasn't sure because someone booked on board. I mean, I know the rules, but somebody booked on board one time and they had a balcony, and I was told I actually didn't want to bother you guys. One day I was on the phone with member services, and they said, "Oh, we can look it up." And they said, "Oh, they're
They
definitely
can look
eligible."
at the manifest. Yeah,
So they said
absolutely.
they're definitely eligible, but then when they got on board, they never received I never received a letter for them, and when they were on board, they never received
Was
it.
this Celebrity or Holland?
The Celebrity, yeah.
So there's an eligibility date with Celebrity, and I don't, of course, can't tell you what the date on this particular booking was, but there could have been something that qualified or disqualified them that they might not have gotten a notice at the time they were sent out. It's really hard to just give you a concrete answer because it's all based on that individual booking, and the best way to get, an answer is to have us research it. So if membership said it was eligible, but they did not get the notice within that 25 or 30-day window, at the time she ran that report, they were not on that manifest.
Okay.
They could have fallen off because they made a cabin change, because they took a new promotion.
Yeah, no, there was nothing like that. I know this booking was nothing like that because it was staying from the beginning, and the only reason I questioned it was because it was an online booking. And also, last year we were host on Holland.
Problem too. This is Joyce. I had that problem with Celebrity also, and it took me 5 days to get this thing straightened out because the people were very mad. They were familiar with the program, and they thought they were entitled to get the
amenity
benefits from it, and it was a real ugly scene. And I suggested if you have any people that you know that are your people, and you don't get a letter, that you contact somebody, because it took me 5 days to get that thing straightened out. And they finally agreed to give them their benefits. But if they book too early, they are not going to get their benefits.
Okay. I was 20. And the other thing is, we were on Holland last year, and we got a notice that some people who were not on our manifest were eligible, and they went inside cabins. And is there sometimes when inside cabin is eligible?
No.
Okay.
I had
Inside, no.
Jenny. I had one last
Jenny, I
I
can hear
hear
you.
so many people speaking at once, and I don't know why that's happening.
Okay, I had one last year on Holland, Iceland sailing, and they
Jenny.
went into your cabin.
Jenny, forgive me 1 second. If you're on a cell phone by chance, if you're near
I'm on a
TV,
landline.
yeah, well, no, I'm just sharing for everyone on the call because there's 50 people on the call. I'm trying to find a way to eliminate any echoing or background noise. Just kind of check your environment to see if there's anything that could be distracting the call. I turned my
Okay,
volume
better?
down because it's close
I'm
to
going
my
to leave the
computer.
car running for you to... Oh, God damn it.
Is this better, Salita?
Yeah, Jenny, you sound fine. I'm just saying
Okay.
to the community.
All right. Oh, okay. I just had one on the Iceland cruise, and it was an interior cabin as well. The one part of the family was an interior, and the other one was a regular outside cabin, and they both were in the manifest, and they both were included. But I have another issue
I haven't heard that before.
okay.
So
have
here's
another
what I would
issue that-
suggest. Everyone, here's what I'd suggest, because this is the first call of the season. That's something that we could spend a whole call talking about eligibility per supplier. We've got some topics we do want to cover today, but Ken brought up, an eligibility question on one booking. I don't want that to take the gist of our hour. So I will find a way to see if I can't get Madeline, who's very versed on eligibility and bookings, maybe even Jess, to join a call maybe next month that just talks about qualifications and notifications so you guys can ask those types of questions.
Okay, I just
The
have
main
one
thing,
thing I
Salita, is
want to
we
bring
should-
up on the emails that you send out as to the number of guests that we have, and they come like monthly or every 6 weeks.
Thank you for your patience.
I had a unique thing happen today when I got 2 of them there for the same cruise. The cruise was changed, and when the cruise was changed to the number of days, it also changed the booking numbers for the guests. And the one that says that it's the 18-day cruise shows 11 passengers booked, and the one
Now,
that
if that's
says
an
it's the
individual
19-day
notification,
cruise,
Jenny,
yeah.
please, if you don't mind, if there's a specific question about your sailing, let me answer it after the call.
Okay, I sent you 2 emails, so we'll deal with it that
Okay,
way.
yeah,
That's
I'll
good.
see all of those this afternoon after the
Okay.
call, but we want to get through
Because
like,
it's
the
something
topic-based
that,
stuff than that one.
right, it's a voyager's issue. Somebody needs to be checking with the cruise lines when they change things like that.
Yeah, I'm sure Christina can check that with no problem. So
Okay, all right, thanks.
we can address that one later.
May I ask
okay.
a question? May I just ask
Sure.
how long is this conference supposed to last? That's one of the things I need to know right now.
Our open mic calls are generally an hour.
Okay. All right.
I am on this call typically 30 minutes before and sometimes 30 minutes after just to answer questions that are unique to you.
Okay.
All right. So, in an attempt to explain the difference between what I'm able to help you with and the Voyages box, we got off topic a bit, but these things are important to know, but it also gives me an idea as to what we can spend a call talking about. In eligibility and notifications, I will certainly make it a point to try and design some time in maybe next month's call to tackle that specifically. So some of you that are assigned a date for 2017 received a sailing notification update today with a passenger count. If you received one of those emails and your number says 0, that may or may not mean you have 0 passengers. At this point in the fall, we may have not gotten any reporting from a given supplier yet. So if it says 0 and it's Cunard, we haven't gotten any numbers from them yet. It may be Thanksgiving. It could be toward the very end of the year before we see 17 numbers. So I say that to say don't take that as Bible truth at the moment. Fair enough?
Yep.
If you have numbers in your reporting.
If you turn it off,
Sir?
it stops.
There's a gentleman on the line that if you could press *2, we can hear your conversation with your colleague.
Yeah.
Just punch that.
Oh my God,
Okay.
you're being so rude.
So here's what I'm going to do. I am going to mute the entire line. And
Thank you.
we understand that there's an etiquette issue, but I certainly don't want the group to be scolded by another colleague as well. So when I go to ask for questions, I will unmute the lines. We'll try that way.
Thank you.
Stand by. Okay. I think we got it. I don't know if it's muting the entire line. There are quite a few people participating. So I'm going to keep talking. I lost the train of thought. But, I was saying about the different counts that you received today. If you received numbers in your email, it could mean you have more than we reported this morning. Your numbers could be a month or, we got them last week. So just know that the numbers are constantly changing. I just say that to say some of you got numbers. They're constantly changing if you're sailing is sometime late next year. I want to note, after sending that email, there was a request for you to make your host deposits. If you are sailing any year, if you've sailed in the past, we only require you to pay that $400 one time. I was reconciling deposits just a couple days ago, and I saw that there are some people that had multiple deposits. It's $400. I don't want you to pay it 4 times if you're hosting 4 times. I also want you to be cognizant that if you've paid $400, that you save that receipt, that you print out that email confirmation once you've paid it online so that when it's time to submit your request, that you can get that money back. We keep a spreadsheet. It's very Excel based, and we record all of them, and I can see your email receipt when you've paid online. But I ask that you keep that receipt as well so that both of us have documentation of what needs to be refunded. So if you're sailing for the first time next year and you haven't made that payment, I ask that you do so if you wish to hold the sailing that you've been assigned. And when you pay it online, you'll get an email confirmation. And after you've returned home, you request that that payment be given back to you with your expenses. Are there any questions about deposits? Easy enough.
Question about how often you send out the updates.
Oh, the updates for how many passengers you have?
Yes.
There was a time 2 years ago, it's almost been 4 years for me, where every supplier gave us something once a month. For better or worse, we got reporting on a very regular basis. People have changed roles, different people have come on with some of the cruise lines, and we don't get it with any regularity. Some may report in every 6 weeks, celebrities about once a month, and others are just one day you get reporting and you're excited to see it. So I can't say that I can do it monthly anymore. I'm just trying to get as much of it in as we can because we have to run like a data merge for all of those dates. And when I see that I've gotten something from just about every supplier, I say this is a good time to update everyone, and that's what I did this morning. Because I knew this call would have questions about how many people do I have right now.
Do please pull a reservation. I have a couple of questions about it.
Ma'am, that's working. I can't tell who's working on a reservation. I need you to mute your line.
9937. Yes.
Stand by just a moment, everyone. I'm going to try and mute that again for everyone.
Yes. And could you tell me if she wanted to purchase business? Yes, this is Terry speaking. 22624.
She's still there. That is on. I'm just going to go down the line and mute who's left, and maybe we'll catch her. And if you have a question, you can certainly press star 2 to mute yourself individually. I apologize that it's busy today in terms of the
Salida? Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Salida?
Anybody's on the line?
Yes, I'm here. Hello?
Salida, can you hear me?
Hello?
I can.
It's Debbie Bass.
I can hear you. Hey, Debbie.
Hi, I have a quick question. Because I just made Threshold, I have the certify into you my expenses from my cruise 3 weeks ago, and I had requested my $400 refund. Should I send you an email to just keep that since you didn't do the certify thing yet? Just keep that since I'm already at Threshold?
No, what we can do is, since you're telling me now, when I go to look at expenses tomorrow, I'll just know to remove that one from your report.
Yeah, that way you don't have to send it back to me and I have to send it to you.
Yep, not a problem.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. Okay, sounds like we were able to at least, yeah, sure, go ahead.
Hi, it's Kathy Fillmore. When is the $400 charged? Hi, I don't remember when the $400 is charged, and I can't remember.
So we don't take it from you. Yeah, we don't take it from you. You get the email that has a link to the website where you make the payment. So you could have made that charge in June. You could do it today. We only receive an email that specifies when you've made the payment. And I use that as a source to go to when it's time for your refund to upload a receipt to your expense account.
Okay.
So I'm saying now to everyone on the call, if you have a 17 assignment starting next week, I'm looking to see where deposits have been made for next year. Those are typically submitted by Labor Day, but I know some people got assignments in that last round 2 or 3. of assignments. So now is a good time to go ahead and start doing that if you have not done so.
So, Lisa, I have a question. Oh,
Sure.
sorry. It's Hazel.
Hey.
On the second round, we had applied for a Cunard sailing next November, but we never heard anything about it. So when these latest sailings come out, we're not sure if we got the Cunard one or we didn't get the Cunard one. So we're reluctant to apply for anything.
Okay. Well, let me try and address that in a way that hopefully will make sense. When we send out dates and we want a response, we try to assign the one that would best suit that date for whatever reason. If it's a Cunard like that and I get a number of applicants for it, if it's no longer on the list, it was assigned to someone else. So if that date wasn't available today when you saw it, that means it got assigned to someone else. I don't have an automated way of saying, I'm sorry I didn't get that one to you. That's something I really scratch my head about because everyone wants to hear back. But I've said in the past, we've been doing it this way for a couple of years, that if you don't hear something within 72 hours, more than likely I couldn't assign it to you. And someone else has already been placed on it. But another thing that I do is I'll look at what sailings we have open. If the numbers on them are low and we're close to that date and I don't feel like we will earn that cabin, I won't include it in that list because I want things hosted that I know are more likely to sail. Right. So like the list I sent today, those numbers are high or well over threshold. And I need a host like now, where I will take out, other sailings that may not be, close yet.
Okay.
So I try to send out the things that are most likely.
So we can start looking at later sailings next year because that was for November, so we could look at other things then.
Yes. If you see something on the list today that fits your timeline, those are all ready to go.
Okay. All righty. Great. Thank you. I'm going back on mute now.
Okay. Thank you.
Salita?
Yes.
This is Diane Santana.
Hello. Welcome to the family.
Thank you. Thank you. So regarding that deposit, I'm hosting 3 sailings in 2017, so I pay the $400 for the first one. Do I also
No, that's
pay
for all of them.
Oh, that's for all of them. Okay.
The one sailing is for all. The one deposit is for every sailing. Once you come back from the first, you don't request that $400 be given back to you.
Okay.
Once you host the second, same thing. If you get to that third sailing and you know you're done for the year, that's when you request that $400 back.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
That deposit is used, and then this is for everyone. The deposit is used to assist us in the event you cancel within a 30, 60-day type of time frame. So when you've seen us offer, $200 or $250, we hate using those funds that way, but when we're put in a bind like we were earlier this week in terms of trying to fill a last-minute assignment, those funds help us get the trip hosted. So hopefully all of you are aware of that and just know how we use it. That's not what we use to pay your taxes and port charges with the cruise line. That $400 is charged by VCOM. When I call you and say I need a pre-cruise form, that's so that your non-commissionable port charges and other fees are paid for the actual sailing.
Salita, it's Donna Malky.
Hi.
Salita.
Hi,
how are you?
Hey, Donna.
Hey, what about the rollover? Are we still rolling the $400 over every year if we wish?
So I just had a meeting about that this week because there are some people that have been rolling like since 13 and 14. I am going to make a decision on that soon when my accounting colleague and I talked about it this week. We were fine with rolling over from year to year, like last year to this year, but I don't want to sit on $400 from 2012 and 13 and 14. So we're going to try and figure out a better way to do that, but if you made a payment last year, you requested that we roll it over into this year, it's done. We figured out a way to do that. But we just don't want it to go into 3+ years if we can help it.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope that answered the question.
Yes, because I was in 15.
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
We want to be able to give it back.
Okay.
Lita, I have a quick question regarding Oceania.
Sure.
I just recently saw the email saying that the dates would be available after November 1st. How do I know which of the Oceania sailings are going to be distinctive voyages?
Did you get a list of Oceania dates sent to you?
No.
Okay, so we pulled a list of hosts and agents, and I think we ended up sending them all out a couple days later to people that we knew sold Oceania because there were so few dates, and we have people that have applied for those dates. What I mean is that those that have applied for those dates, we wanted to give people to get back from vacation. There are a lot of out-of-offices on some of the emails we've sent out. We wanted to give people a reasonable amount of time to respond. So starting next week, I'm going to take all the Oceania applications and make those assignments. So hopefully by next Friday, if you applied for one of those dates, you will have a response as to which one you received. And anything that's left over, we will certainly throw those out for those of you that want to host on Oceania to apply for them.
All right, thank you.
So we've gotten through the items that I have for all of you specifically to start the fall. I want to take questions in our last 20, 30 minutes or so. Are there any new hosts that may have questions or any questions at all that we can answer given that we're in a new season?
This is Gail. I have a manifest question.
Absolutely. Glad to take it.
Is the manifest ever available to the host a few months ahead of the sailing or just prior to the sailing when it's finalized?
Yeah, anything that's older than 30 days is not typically accurate. Sometimes we don't even have the reporting with that type of advanced timing in it, several months. So we try to make it available within a 30-day window, ideally 2 weeks out. And that's where I start sending those host packets in those 2 to 3 weeks before sailing.
Okay, thanks.
Yes. Because I have a number of new hosts on the phone, I do want to talk about host supplies and getting ready for departure. So the month prior, so it's October now, I've already sent out supplies for November departures. At the end of this month, I will look at all the counts on all the sailings for those of you going out in December, and we'll assemble those things and give them to our mailroom for FedExing. So if by chance you're sailing in December and you're concerned about what address your FedEx box of letterhead and DV folders and name tags would go to, please send me an email now and let me know, because toward the end of next week I'll start looking at the December supplies and I want to make sure that your FedEx goes to the right address. If you work within an agency but you're a remote employee and work from home, please also update your shipping address with me. Because if we have the agency but you don't work out of that office, it's going to go to the agency. I want to make sure that we can get ahead of that as much as possible this year. So if you're on the call and you're hosting at all, this next year, please make sure that we have a good address for you if you're new to the program or remote. May I take another question? If you're muted and you'd like to unmute yourself, you just simply press *2 and that would unmute your line.
So, Lita, this is Diane again, Diane Santana.
Yeah.
I am sending in my pre-cruise forms for the 3 that I'm doing next year, but I can't identify who my co-host will be at this time. How long do I have
Not necessary.
to do that? Okay.
You can do that within the month of the actual sailing itself.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Yep, we just need to know who's hosting it.
Okay.
Hey, Soletta, this is Mary Ellen.
Hi.
Hi. Thanks for staying.
Good to hear you.
Well, nice to have the *2 because I didn't know how to unmute and I've been yelling on the phone. May I ask one more question about the $400 rollover?
Always. What's going on?
If we have a cruise in December, so we can't roll it over yet. But we were requested to send in the $400 today. So how do you handle that?
Yeah, yours is at the end of the year. That would have been something that was deposited on for last year. Do we have a deposit on file for you now? Do you know?
I don't know. That's why I thought we did, but I'm not sure.
I would not submit a deposit for a 16 sailing. That's in December, so let's not do that, and then you and I can figure that out here, maybe in the morning or later today.
Right, because I'm thinking about 2017, because that's what it requested. That's what it requested the deposit for, the 2017.
Yeah, if you make a deposit today, it would apply for your next year's sailing.
Right, but I could possibly roll it over. But I could possibly roll it over at the end of this year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll make sure we talk, and then we'll figure out which way is going to work.
I look forward to that. Thanks, then.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Salita. This is Ken in Cruise Innovations. Can you hear me?
Hi. Yes, I can, sir.
Yeah, I had a question about the manifest. You said it normally goes out a month ahead. I know you guys get real busy sometimes.
Not a month. It may come to us a month before. You guys within 2 weeks generally. 10 to 12 days.
10 to 12 days. The mailing, not the email, the actual.
No, the actual physical mail, the postal, the FedEx box.
Right. That comes about 10 days ahead.
No, that comes generally that month before, at least a couple weeks before.
You know, I don't want to
FedEx box before you get email documents from me.
Right, but if it gets sometimes, like last year we had a sailing where it was like only a week to go. And I was panicking, and I realize who to email.
Program?
Excuse me?
Were you new to the program last year?
No, that was our second or third time. I think it was you guys were real busy, and then we didn't get the email for a couple of days ahead. I'm wondering, when should we email you? And now I know only to email you once with the distinctive voyage. When we get, like, if it's like 2 weeks to go, should we email you and say that?
Yeah, sure. Feel free to do so. If you're anxious about it and you haven't seen anything yet, you're welcome to ask about it.
And is there a way to get that earlier sometimes? Because, like, especially for Europe, like a lot of times we'll go like a week early.
Right.
And we could always
that, for sure.
We could always. I mean, we could always go to an email center. If we have the stationery, we could certainly download. You know, we need the stationery. If we were in Europe, we could still download the material and print it in Europe. Just that when you're leaving and especially we were thinking of going to Australia cruise, doing something like that, I don't think anybody's going to go the day before a cruise to Australia. So, like, if there's a way ahead of time to get the stationery in advance.
Yeah, some of our hosts do sail into the Australia dates the day before.
Okay.
At least in the almost 4 years I've been here, that's more often than going a week or so before. But Europe in the summer is where you all will reach out to me and say, I'm leaving 10 or more days in advance. Right. I'd like for everybody to understand the difference between, say, May through September and this month. And starting in May through the end of September, I have 35 to 40 hosts coming or going, meaning they're just getting back from the sailings a month before, and I've got that many going out. And I keep a chart at my desk, and I may have 5 hosts departing on July 4th or July 5th, right? So those 5 sets of email host docs, you've all seen how many attachments they include. I try to get them done on a schedule, but I see who's leaving and I see who's waiting at all times. I do my best to get those to you well in advance, but when you tell me you need to leave 10 days or a week prior, there may be 6 to 8 people ahead of you that are, that were actually on schedule to send them their documents, and you're at the end of the month. So I do my best to accommodate those requests. When I know them well in advance, it makes it a lot easier. But during the summer months, that can be a very difficult request for several reasons. One of them being your manifest may have changed in some way, so you may print labels to go on your folders. You may attempt to print personalized things with cabin numbers on them. and you get on the ship and you have several cabin number changes because someone's been moved or upgraded for whatever reason. So getting a manifest older than, 2 or 3 weeks can present its own challenges, particularly on like a Celebrity or Holland. The smaller suppliers, it's a little easier to do. I could admit that, but I don't have a lot of hosts with the groups of, 30 people asking me several weeks in advance for their manifest. Not that often. It's usually the biggest group that want them so far in advance. So I'm glad to entertain that request when I know about it, but if I'm in that 2-week prior window, I need that time to get the folks that may be on the schedule ahead of you. This month I've got 10 or 11 people going out, no problem. If you're sailing in December, I can certainly try and honor that request. But in the summer, that can be difficult.
Okay, thank you.
Is that fair?
It's fair.
Thank you, Ken. Does anyone have any
No,
questions?
everything's great as long as we know. Everything's great always as long as we know what to expect. That's all.
Absolutely, absolutely, and that's I think these are some of the first open mic calls for you, so I welcome those questions.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, Salita. It's Tricia Pressure.
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
Nice to hear your voice.
Thank you.
This is our new year, so Happy New Year, everyone.
Yeah, really. Chris, I have a Crystal cruise coming up, and I wondered if anyone had any suggestions where they've had good luck having people come to office hours. I've tried different places on the ships, but I've only had one person in all the cruises I've hosted ever come to talk to me during any office hours. And so I was wondering if you know of any place or if anyone else knows of a good place other than the Palm Court or the Bistro to just sit at certain times where I would get more of a turnout.
Mary Ellen and Mary, Mark?
Yeah, we always do the Bistro works really well because we sent out notices saying we're going to be there from 10 to noon or whatever the hours are going to be for that particular one. And we find that many times, especially new cruisers, are engaged to come in and have a cup of coffee, and it's so much easier than trying to set up a table or a sign where you're there all by yourself and kind of look awkward. So yeah,
okay,
we find that works.
That's what I've been doing on the last couple. I've just gone in the Bistro, but I just, sometimes people will wave to me or something, but they never come and just sit down and chat. I have really good luck about people coming to the cocktail parties and on the excursions and all, and seeing people at lunch and things like that, but I don't ever seem to get them just to come sit down with me and chat or anything. And maybe they're just experienced travelers that I've had and they don't need it.
Exactly.
Okay, and then I'm trying to think if there's any other question I had about that too. Since you ladies have hosted before with Crystal, have you had any luck of having any additional activities scheduled on board? Because I'm always told that they have enough things going on that they really don't want anything extra.
One of the things that we've done successfully, this is Mary Ellen again, one of the things we've done successfully, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Is we go to, when we are dealing with the whoever's assigned to us from the executive staff, to ask them when the kitchen tour is going to be. And they let us know because they're not publishing it. It doesn't seem that they're publishing that anymore. It's just almost like who knows. So we use that to our advantage to let everybody know that there's going to be a kitchen tour. And they do a terrific job.
Okay, I'll try that this time. Yeah.
Hi, Salita.
And you can send that out early. Yeah.
Salita, it's Valerie.
Hey.
Hi. I just want to address that. I just came off of a Crystal that I hosted, and we did, as a group, the kitchen tour. But it was one that was set up by the ship for everyone, not just our group. And it was in our actual day-to-day itinerary compass that they give us on the cruise. It was listed there, and it was on a Friday afternoon. You might be able to ask the staff just as soon as you get on board that you can announce that then to your guests either at the cocktail party or even when they're on the excursion,
because we had a nice small group do the whole kitchen tour together. So you might want to do that.
Yes,
Okay,
that's exactly what I meant. Yes, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's a great way to do it. Yeah.
Okay.
Salita,
Thank
this
you.
is Karen. Salita, this is Karen McKnight.
Take this clear on down.
I have a concern that now I've done 3, and they all seem to not know anything about the program when you first approach them on board.
Mm-hmm.
I did see one fax that came through from an agency, and they put it in my mailbox, that was announcing to their client that they were on a distinctive voyage. Are agencies getting notified to send? Are we sending? Is Distinctive Voyage sending them something that says they need to notify their clients? I would say 90% of the people that are on the Distinctive Voyage have no idea what it's about.
Exactly. And that, unfortunately, has always been the case. It's gotten a lot better than it was 3.5 years ago when I started. I don't hear this as much anymore. There are hosts that have hosted over a dozen times, and they, have shared that it's gotten a lot better than it used to be. I use this analogy many times when I'm trying to explain it. Those of you that may have AAA or American Express, you have AAA because you need a certain service or you love the discounts that come with having a AAA card. Same thing with American Express. There are features to carrying that card that you don't know you have until you use it and find out you got that benefit. As agencies, they join the organization for membership for different reasons, but when they go to book a client on a cruise, they don't always know they've booked that balcony, and as a result, it comes with this benefit. Our internal challenges, we have the contact on the manifest for the booking within that agency, and it may be a general mailbox. So the month before that sailing, when Jessica sends notices, it may go to a general box for an agency, and we know how we love spam and email coming into our boxes. They're flooded. Clients often never get that email because depending on where it went, it might not have gotten into the hands of the person who booked it. That agent may work outside of the office where the notification goes. There's all kinds of reasons, but we make every effort to send that notice. They get out, that month before the sailing, but there are too many different challenges in the agency environment, independence versus online agencies, that there's not a storefront, mom and pop versus, larger scale agencies. All we can do is deliver that information. Once you're on board, if you have a group of 200 people on Celebrity and you only get 86, don't be disappointed. You've done nothing wrong. That's just, it's one of those amenities that you can take it or don't take it. It's not a bad reflection on you at all. We're all kind of ambassadors of this product. Now that you all know, when you book into a DV, you know it, and you ask us for your notice so that you can print it, and share it with your clients. But that's everyone's not getting us across the finish line in that way, but we're doing so much better than it used to be. Now some hosts are finding out that somebody's been on. I'm sorry?
I kind of understand all of that, and when I do get them in a meeting or a group, then I try to explain to them how they got this.
I just want you to know we're doing everything we can, but that's one of those things where we can't put it in everyone's hands the way we'd like to.
Right. The other thing I noticed is we had the Future Cruise people come, because I did the back-to-backs, and so I had them on each sailing. I had them come to the cocktail party, and then people went to book Future Cruises, which several of them did, but they wanted to know if the Future Cruise department could tell them which ones were Distinctive Voyages, and Future Cruises said they could not do that. So I did have a lot of people.
Vary by ship because they tend to know. Okay.
Well,
That's
I
good
don't
to know.
but I had a lot of people come to my office, quote unquote, that was set up, and actually look through the brochures to see what cruises were coming. Yeah.
Understand, we send that book with you as a backup to that. So if someone says, I enjoyed that tour so much, I'm thinking about, Russia, this summer. Can you show me what's there? And that gives them the opportunity to look at that schedule. And even this most recent edition of the book, I've got that broken down by month now. So if they know their months are, summer, they can look at everything we've got during those months. That's our safeguard too. If Future Cruises doesn't know, our host should certainly know.
Exactly.
Hi, Sarita.
Hi.
Hello, Sarita. It's Becky.
Hello. Hi, Becky.
Hi there.
Hi, Becky.
All right. We have a sailing on October the 25th, and we have yet to receive an email from you.
October, you guys are at the end of the month, right? Yep,
I saw it. In 5 days, the 25th of October.
And you've got 15 cabins. So hang on, I know what's wrong with that. We had a cancellation this week for 2 sailings in November, and you were on the schedule to get documents on Monday. So I will make sure that you get those tonight. I had an Australia and a Hawaii for 2-3 weeks from now cancel, and I had to get those reassigned. Some of you saw those emails. Sometimes everything kind of stops when that happens, but I was out last week, and you were on the schedule for Monday. So I apologize I don't have those yet, but I looked at your list and said she's only got 12 cabins. She can print it in 30 minutes, so I'm sure that was my logic. I will certainly get those to you today.
So just getting a little panicky because we're hoping to fly out on Saturday. So.
Oh, okay.
All right.
I'll make sure you get them tonight.
So much. Okay.
You're welcome. Let me touch on cancellations for a moment since we're on that subject. I was out last week, and on Monday I learned that I have a host that had fallen ill, and I was glad to help him get a replacement. But it was for Hawaii, and it was over Thanksgiving. It's one of the longer sailings, 16-day or something. And the other one was for Australia. We found out we had earned the cabin, but it's a fairly large group. So as of this morning, I was able to get hosts to jump and go for me less than 3 weeks from now. And if they're on the line, I thank you and appreciate you so much for doing that, because when you've got 70 people, you really want a host on board. No one's going to take care of our groups and our clients as good as we do. The onboard staff do a great job, but I absolutely am very appreciative when you guys step in. So when you see those last-minute dates come out like that and they're urgent, when you can respond, we just want to make sure that our team's customers are well taken care of by one of our especially trained hosts. So you got some of those dates today for Australia and I think South America. Those are the spots that we are seeing we have many openings. So if you don't have an assignment yet or you're looking to pick up something else, those are destinations where we'd like to see those confirmed as soon as possible. Any questions there? You guys got about 5 minutes left. I'm certainly going to stand by if there's anything after the call, but I think we've gotten a lot accomplished. Again, those of you that are new, sometimes the call is in a webinar format. Sometimes the technical challenges that folks may have that gives us, I don't know which one to go with. I like the phone, I like the computer, but I want everybody to be able to participate. But some of the controls and like muting your lines and making sure that you're respectful to the call environment, that's a challenge with the live call. But next month I'll probably be using the webinar format so that I can show you some things and go through some examples of different things. So if you have any particular feedback about that, I am certainly welcoming it before our next call. And I'm glad that you guys have joined our team.
I think the music worked out great.
Thank you. Is there anyone that's sailing in the next 30 to 60 days that's new that has any questions for the group? All right. Bunch of graduate students in here. This is great. Well, today with the sailing notification numbers, I shared with you guys the most popular webinar links, the ones that have the most details about putting your host packages together and all about Manifest. If you haven't watched those are some of our best training calls, and they cover the items that we are using all the time. You know, putting your packages together, knowing how to work your Manifest. If you haven't watched those videos, please do. Answer a lot of questions.
So, Lita, this is Robert.
Yes, sir.
If you want, the question I had the other day, maybe it might be good to review with everybody the process you go through to get the information to the ship. So when we get on, they know when to have the cocktail party and the things like that.
Oh yeah, sure. So this is for new and veteran hosts. We work with the cruise lines in our office. Myself, Jessica, Madeline, we make the request for your cocktail party 30 to 45 days prior. We have a form that we send them that goes to their groups department or the ship coordinator directly, and we send them a copy of the manifest to expect when you, the host, gets on board. We do that so that they can tell us that they've set aside the Quasar Lounge or any other space on the ship for your cocktail party and where you'll meet prior to the tour. So if you've ever wondered, do you need to reach out to the ship? No, they actually prefer that you don't, so that if they need approvals for things, it's coming from us directly.
That's not right.
Some suppliers are better than others about responding to those requests before you guys get ready to go. We send out reminders, but we are kind of at their mercy when it comes to that final detail. I've found that Regent is outstanding at getting that information back to us. Celebrity does a great job. Holland prepares a full memo that gives you all the detail. Crystal, I don't know if it's because of the size, but we don't always get that response back, so some of you are finding that you need to, once you get on board, get that information, and they've printed like the invitation for the cocktail party already. Should you ever get in a situation as to where you haven't gotten your cocktail information from us yet before you leave, feel confident that the cruise line has the request to print out an invitation when we send it to them. So most of you have gotten that invitation as well for the cocktail party because you send it back to me in your host packet. That's one of the first backups to, you know, they might not have responded, but they did print an invite and place them in the cabins for the cocktail party. And you guys are calling the passengers on the first day to follow up, to invite them, right?
Absolutely.
We, like the invitation we got,
yes.
They said that we should be getting that.
Yep. Robert, you had a question? I'm sorry.
Do you request do you have any specific guidelines that you ask them to do? Like, what day
the cocktail party, we look at where the tour is. So if the tour is in the first 4 or 5 days, we always want the second day of the sailing. As long as we can get it in the evening at a good time, we request the second day, the third day, worst case scenario. I know there are some sailings in the Med during the summer where you're in port till 8 o'clock at night or 6 and 7 o'clock at night. It gets very tricky to try and get that cocktail party in. We just find the best hole that we can, and sometimes I will schedule them right when the ship is leaving because nobody wants to be on the ship right when it's time to go. Most people head back. They want to be on board at 3, 4 o'clock so that they're not pressed for time to get back to the ship for a 5 o'clock departure. So we will make the cocktail party, 4:30 to 5:30. We just look for the best possible opportunity, but 95% of the time it's on the second day.
That's a sea day, of course.
It's not always a sea day. Some days it's a port day, and we still try to get it in second or third day.
Julia, I do have a question about the excursion.
Yes.
How far ahead of time, ahead of the sailing, would I be able to look to see what the actual excursion is?
So on most of our sale dates, we are working on those flyers that you see, those color flyers, and Jessica gets those uploaded to the sailing. I know that if you're Agent Universe user, that spreadsheet typically has the link there. I've seen them available months, in advance, 6 months at a time. It just depends on our workloads, but typically, we've got most of the year out 6 months ahead of time.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I hope that helps. Yes.
This is Mary Ellen. Let me ask a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I have a client who's going to be on the World Cruise for Holland America in January, and there seems to be confusion. I mean, I know there's multiple excursions that they do, but there doesn't seem to be a lot of information yet.
For the World Cruise, or just what the tours will be?
For the World Cruise.
So I know for the World, and I'm just going on history from having prepared the host the last couple years, we have a lot of that information right around Thanksgiving. Christina's finalized some of those tours. I know there's 2 to 3 of them, but as far as having the details of them, because they come from Holland, we don't always get those months in advance. If Claire creates the tour, we've known for like 6 months or more. But if it's Holland creating the tour, we kind of just have to nudge them until we get it, and as it gets closer, they're likely to give it to us. So I can say that it's been November around Thanksgiving when I've typically given her those tours. She starts asking me before the holidays.
I greatly appreciate hearing that because I didn't understand what was going on. Okay, good. Thanks, as always.
All of your shore excursions outside of those of you hosting on Seabourn and Holland America are prepared by Claire at Excursions Limited, and they are over the moon awesome in terms of the amount of detail that they provide. It makes it a lot easier for us to get those flyers created and uploaded to Agent Universe for you. I will say that one of the things I realized this summer, you guys get an assignment. We're expecting that you're marketing or sharing and trying to promote that sailing in some way. And if you've had it for more than 6 months and sometimes the whole year, I've been disappointed at times to hear someone say, "What's my excursion? Can I get the shore excursion flyer?" And you've had the sailing assigned to you since the fall before. So we are depending on you to use those resources that are available online. And also, if it's not a sailing that's on Holland or Seabourn, you can go to vipatsea.com and look at a summary of the tour if our color flyer is not yet available. So VIPATSEA, VIP at Sea, is where we add our 3rd and 4th passengers when we're on the sailing. But as hosts, if you just want to see if your sailing is available yet, that's another place you can go to get a summary of what the excursion will be.
Okay, and if I'm hosting a Holland sailing, I can't really use the excursion as part of my marketing materials because they're a little bit later in
It just depends. Sometimes we do have the Holland tours. So if you don't see it and you're trying to market it, reach out to us. We certainly will help, get the information. But I personally, because that's not something I do during the day, I wouldn't know unless you told me. So if you need me to help you, I can certainly say, hey, Jess, have we gotten this tour yet? I want to help this host get her excursion out there to market. If anything, we can get the port name, and then we can just start promoting it that way. The free tour is going to be in Barcelona. More details to come.
Okay, so the spreadsheet is the first place that I would look for that information.
Absolutely. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you.
My pleasure. So I've kept you all over an hour today, and you all have been a very captive audience of 52 people. I want to thank you for that participation. I am so thrilled to be back. This is the best part of the month when I get to hang out with you guys. It's been a long summer, and I'm hoping that we can be productive together this year and get a lot accomplished, and that you will continue to help me help you. So, unless someone has anything else urgent, yes, go ahead.
If we're like 4 months out and we're only at, we're no ways near the number of participants needed, is it time to really start looking for something else to do?
Yep, just as my email indicated today, please, if you're not close, let's find something else that works for you.
Okay. All right, great. Thank you. It's Judy. So.
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right, well then, yes.
This is Diane Santana, and can you repeat the email address that we're supposed to send that pre-cruise form to, please?
Voyages.
Yes.
At vacation-corp.com.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. And the emails that I sent out today with the notifications, there's a lot of good information in there, and sometimes I know you have to skim things, but some of the questions asked are often answered if folks will read in between some of the different sections of the email. And for that, I'd appreciate all of you a great deal. So until next time, have a wonderful evening, and I will talk to you in a couple of weeks. And if you've sent me emails during this call, many of you have, I will get to responding to those as soon as possible.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
You are so welcome.
Bye.
Take care.